my experience with sharpening tools is it looks like to us that it is not cost efficient to resharpen a drill or an end mill that's 3/8 in diameter or under. That's what we've come up with. The cost, because it's solid carbide, so actually you're buying the material. The material is kind of costly because it's solid carbide, and then of course the labor involved in grinding that true geometry into the drill and or end mill. There's all different kinds of wear that a drill can,
Before you get into that, can I ask you a question? So that 3/8 diameter.
The 3/8 diameter.
Did you guys do all sorts of data analysis to find out where you would draw that line between recycle or replace?
It wasn't rocket science, but what we did is we looked at the cost of a 3/8 diameter solid carbide. This is all solid carbide. We don't really use high speed anymore. But we looked at the cost of a 3/8 solid carbide drill and a 3/8 end mill. And when you move up from that, it exponentially the price goes up. I don't know if it's because it's the mass of the carbide or the labor involved in grinding that geometry on it, but it seems like it really jumps up in that size level.
So Nick, I can kind of get into that. So we actually did that type of an analysis for one of our clients. Now this client, high production, they use a lot of small diameter tools. Mm-hmm. And so we were really close to so your intuition was pretty spot on, Jim.
Was it really?
As a comparison, well, every shop is going to be different.
Of
what I
course.
mean? But with this particular shop, we said that we were going to scrap below 3/8.
Right.
So we were going to
3/8 and below.
So we were going to keep the 3/8.
Oh, we would not.
So we were close.
Yeah.
So we were close. So we were going to keep the 3/8 and bigger, but then we were going to scrap the ones below. Now, a lot of that also depends on, there's some other kind of nuances to it, but we did analyze the data, looked at, cost of the tool, cost of the regrind, number of parts that you get with a new tool, and number of parts that you get with a reground tool, and we measured it against like all of their production. And that was what we came up with was the best scenario, because at some point you need to you can't figure it. You could figure it out on a job by job basis. And I think with some companies, it would make sense from a monetary perspective to do it. If you're like a huge company, like a Boeing or somebody like that, that would make sense. But for an average size shop, you just need to put a stake in the ground, tell all your guys and say, 3/8 and above we keep, and less than that we scrap, because like anything more nuanced than that is probably going to get lost anyway.
You don't want to do like analysis paralysis, but you need to do some sort of
But we did the analysis.
Research,
right? I mean, we put the numbers behind it, and it was pretty conclusive.
And then it becomes your process. So everyone in the shop is fully aware if you have a 3/8 end mill or 3/8 drill or below, it's worn. Toss it. It's just not worth keeping it around anymore, and it doesn't. So then we've got a 1/2 inch. So now we know our process is above 3/8. So we've got a 1/2 inch drill or a 1/2 inch end mill. It's worn. Let's say the drill is the flank wear, which is the tip of it. There's crater wear. There's thermal cracking. Thermal cracking is caused from
let me guess,
heat. Yeah, coatings that are on there. The amount of coolant that you're putting on the drill, and then corner fracturing. And there's all reasons that these drills and end mills break down according to these particular tool wears.
Well, and that's what goes into the decision. So like, even if it's a larger diameter tool, if one of these factors come into play, you might want to recycle it and not regrind it, even if it's that larger diameter.